You're listening to the Fore podcast. This is your host, Greg Pattison. Man, have we got a great show today. In studio with me is Eric Miller, Joey Madrid, and Doug Montgomery. We're going to debate Callaway's Jailbreak technology versus TaylorMade's Twistface. We're also going to share our recent play in the Colorado Golf Association's two-man best ball game known as Fore Ball. You're going to get our strategy, our tactics, and you're going to hear from Doug Montgomery, Class A professional, on what you need to do to win those best ball games. The Fore starts now.
Do we need to get more derogatory?
Not more, but like, a little medium.
Welcome back to the Fore Show. I'm your host, Greg Pattison.
Pigpen.
Pigpen. So I've been nicknamed. We're just going to leave that one for the listeners. So any questions, email me at greg@theforeshow.com. I'm not sure I'll answer that one, but maybe we'll keep that
He'll send you a link.
Special guest. Oh, boy. So, all right. So we've got a segment, listeners, that we're going to call Fore on the Fore. We're each going to do a minute on a topic, and we'll welcome your topics. So please send them to me, greg@theforeshow.com. And the first topic we're going to start off with today, Jailbreak versus Twistface. You got 1 minute, Sevy, to give us your thoughts.
That's a long time. Well, the Jailbreak is going to be easy because I've never hit it. I don't even think I've ever seen it. Unless you have. That's what you have, yeah. He won't let me touch his driver, so. But I did hit the Twistface in a 4-man tournament around St. Patrick's Day. It was a regular shaft, so it definitely wasn't the right flex.
Not ladies, you mean?
Right? Yeah, it wasn't ladies. I took it was about an 80%, if not, well, not even 80%. It was probably 60% swing, and I actually hit it further than 100% of my Titleist driver that I have now. And I caught it on the toe. It didn't feel good, and I thought I piped my I thought I piped my driver, and I was a good 10 yards short with my Titleist compared to the to the Twistface. With the regular, maybe I have the wrong shaft, maybe. But I actually like the setup. I actually like the way it looks now compared to the other one.
And I'm the exact opposite of Joey. I've only hit the Jailbreak technology, and for a golfer, I hit it out with Doug, and I actually hit the Jailbreak farther than my current driver, but I spin it more, so I hit it farther left to right. With the Twistface, I've never hit it. I honestly think it's a form of cheating. I think that's too far for a driver. I'm a firm believer that if you hit it off the toe, if you hit it off the heel, you should reap the ramifications of that mishit. I know when I hit it off the toe, it's a little snap duck hook left. I lose 20, 25 yards off of my drive. And so now that there's technology out there that I can miss the golf ball and it goes just as far, just doesn't really sit right with me. I know Rory McIlroy, he says, I aim for the heel of the driver. That's the sweet spot that he wants to hit it. So I guess to each their own.
My thoughts on Jailbreak versus Twistface are, I've hit the Jailbreak. Obviously, I still don't have it. Epic went wild, but I think I'm going to go rogue here when I see Doug next. But to me, it felt like the Jailbreak, it felt dead. Like it kind of felt flat to me until I looked up and realized the golf ball was gone from like the normal sight line that I see it, that it moves faster, off the club face. The numbers weren't that great that day, other than that I was tired, but I was swinging a little bit slower, but the ball was going the same distance my other driver was doing. But the Twistface, I think I see both those as two things now. Like with the Twistface, it's just it's the first time they've done something other, major and a change. That's, to me, that's engineering. They move the CGI or the core, or flip this or flip that, or turn the shaft over. That's, to me, that's a really moment where I'm like, wow, that was an engineering wow for a second to me. Now, whether or not it works out, Tiger blows it all over the map, Twistface or not.
Your time's up.
My time is up. So, all right.
I got the gong. So.
All right. So, Doug, I think Doug should at least get 2 minutes because he's got to have.
He's in there.
Well, I think you got an opinion, as a player, obviously, just a general, and plus, your opinion as a club fitter and a builder. So this is 4 + 1. I guess we'll give you 2 minutes.
That's kinky.
Okay. I guess what I'll try to do is just speak strictly from the club fitter's perspective and what we see all day, every day. 2 completely different technologies. When the Epic driver came out with the jailbreak technology, that really was a game changer, because it let Callaway, let the engineers do some things that have never been done before. The driver head actually expands when you hit it. And so the club face had to be thick because it was a structural part of the driver head. Well, they put the jailbreak technology in there now, and it's 2 bars now that kind of hold this whole thing together and keep that driver from expanding as much. So now they can thin that face out, and so it's much more reactive. And so, Greg, your comment that it kind of felt dead, we get that pretty commonly, that it's a very different feel, and it's because you're really getting a lot of trampoline effect off of that face. And it's different because no other driver has ever done that. TaylorMade kind of took the approach, and I think somewhat smartly, that we're not going to beat it. It is the distance machine. Nothing goes as far. The ball speeds don't go as fast off of any other driver than they do the Rogue or the old Epic. And so they came out with a different technology, and they'll admit up front that this driver is not about distance, it's about direction. And so this twist face helps you theoretically hit the ball a little bit straighter. And when we test these things, like I said, this happens 4, 5, 6 times a day. It's extremely uncommon to see a player actually hit the Rogue, hit the TaylorMade or the twist face further. But every now and then you'll see them they will hit it a little bit straighter. It's a pretty small percentage. The Rogue is just a really, really tough driver head to beat, especially once you get that right shaft mix in there. It's a really tough piece of technology to beat.
When Eric misses it, he hits it high on the toe. Right?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Your miss, right? And with your fade, isn't the twist face, isn't that toe designed to square that club face up? So leave it open. If I was going to hit a duck hook left, wasn't it kind of put out there to straighten it out for me? Is that how it works?
That high toe normally with the bulge and roll off of a typical driver, like Eric does, goes pretty hard left. With the twist face, now it goes a little bit higher and it stays a little bit straighter. Then the opposite is true if you hit it off of the heel, rather than being a little squirt to the right. It will stay in the air a little bit longer and goes a little significantly straighter than the typical heel shot would.
So what happens if you got a high miss on the toe? Like if you're going right, do you just go further right?
In my experience, what we've seen so far, yes. We don't have it all figured out yet. And of course, TaylorMade engineers, like any other company's engineers, will only divulge so much information because they won't let go of all the trade secrets, and I don't blame them for that. But what we see is for typically, your lesser ability golfer, maybe the beginner or a slightly more advanced player than that, someone who misses a lot high toe or not having a lot of success with the twist face. What seems to be more powerful or a better tool is actually a driver that has a draw bias in it. Callaway makes one of those in the Rogue we found success with. Ping makes one in the G400 driver that we've had success with. And so typically that's the direction as a club fitter we go out. We'll try them all because we've had those situations where people do hit high toes and they hit the twist face better, but typically we'll go to something that's a little bit more of a draw bias, and we get the best results that way.
Listeners, if you'd like us to debate your topic on 4 on the 4, send me an email greg@theforeshow.com. That's greg@theforeshow.com. greg@theforeshow.com. Give us some fuel for the Fore on the Fore fire. We'll be right back. Hi, it's Greg Pattison, host of the Fore Show here. Look, we all know golf's hard, but the folks at Got Golf make it a lot easier. My first experience with Got Golf began 5 years ago, and I can truly tell you, if your goal is to regularly beat your buddies, win that club championship, maybe even compete on tour or just enjoy the golf you play, Got Golf is your answer. Find your best ball flight today with a custom club fit experience like no other. Go to gotgolf.com to learn more. That's GOTT golf.com. We just finished the recent CGA Fore ball. For those of you that are not familiar with Fore ball, it's basically a two-person best ball game. And Sevi Madrid and I were paired for this one, and we learned some things. I'll kick it over to you, Joey. What did we learn playing the Fore ball together?
To wear my weight belt. No, I'm just kidding. We learned to compete against each other pretty much on the course when we were playing. I mean, that's when we played our best anyway.
Yeah.
We learned our strategies for sure. If we play together next year, I think he's going to ditch me for Eric, but I wouldn't blame him. But it was fun, man. We had a good time. I mean, it wasn't quite what we wanted, but we finally got it together on the last round.
Well, hey, we shot 65 together in the last round and
5 birdies each, right?
Tied the leaders, 5 birdies each. So our approach to the first day was I thought I would go first and take the pressure off him. If I could put the ball in play, put the ball in green, and just let him swing a little freer, and that might work out. And we played pretty kind of conservative. We really weren't making anything happen. And then about when was it, Joey? 14 or 15th hole, he's like, let me go first. So he goes first, and then we birdied 3 over the last 4 or something like that.
3 of the last 4, yeah. We almost birdied the last 3 consecutive. We had chances on the last 3. We had 2 out of the last 3.
Joey needs that pressure.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's weird, but it's almost like I get too relaxed. If he's in the middle of the fairway, it's like, well, I can swing out of my shoes, which gets your timing, your tempo, all that thing, everything off, and it was just. Yeah, I was just almost too relaxed with a little bit too much freedom.
There were a couple times we were out of position, and unfortunately, we were both going to make bogey. And, I made bogey, or I rolled a putt to show him a line and missed it or whatever, but I was trying to show him the line, but I still made a double. And then I walked to the hole. I'm like, man, I made a double. You're frustrated on the tee because nobody likes to make double, right? And so when we started the second round, we tried a new strategy that said, okay, nobody's going to have a bad hole. Like if you have a bad hole, like let the other, if we're going to make bogey together, then we made the bogey, but nobody's going to make a double. Nobody's, it's just, you're not going to feel you did anything. You're just like, okay, if somebody's in close for par, make the par. And then like, I'll pick up. If I got 8 feet for par and you got 4 feet for par and you make it, either way, we're still going to have to grind on it. So he makes it. So then we felt with that strategy, we were like, okay, well, that's good. Except for then we just ho-hummed our way around and made nothing.
Absolutely nothing. We had chances. Nothing was falling. It was boring. It was a boring round of golf for sure.
Yeah. So we went 2 birdies and 1 bogey.
Yep.
Together, just ho-humming our way around.
That was Saturday.
So
right?
we were happy on every tee box, Doug. So for your
we were thinking we were. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we weren't pissed off
happy.
about what happened, but we were there. And then on Saturday, because Eric, you guys are in the in the match play event, and Joey had to buy because as you heard earlier, he's touting that he whooped our butt and is the club champion. And so he he doesn't have anybody. He didn't have a buy in the first round. So I asked him, "Who do you play?" He's like, "Oh, I don't play anybody." I'm like, "No, that's not true. You play me today." And I said we're gonna have to play 5 birdies. You got to make 5 birdies. We got to make 5 birdies each. Let's go. And that's the strategy for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we started off like, actually we started off kind of poor.
Right.
But we settled in quick, and then we went 1 up even, and we just traded back and forth, and it was just blow after blow after blow.
And then we alternated on the tee box. So like whoever won the hole had honors. So we just did it like a normal match play. It was way better. It was way more relaxing. We were sitting on the tee talking shit to each other.
Yeah.
You know, like we were just playing a match play, but that was our best golf we had.
And then he came. So I was two up with 2 to go. And he's like, I'm coming, like I'm going to square it up. And he smokes it on our 17th hole, which was 9 at Legacy Ridge. And sticks it into like 6 feet, makes that on me. I'm completely out of the hole. I freaking hit it left in the woods, and chipped it back behind a tree. I couldn't even chip out right. I was like,
he caught the one hanging branch too. Yeah, just clips it. It's like the only branch he could hit, and he hits it.
Oh, I mean, I duck hooked it off that tee so hard. I duck hook it out there, and then I can't even chip it back out. You know that big tree that's on the left side. So
my
I
favorite
chip
tree.
it out, and I don't get past it.
I hit it 3 times.
So then I
in
try
3
to
days.
I try to fly underneath it, and I hit the one branch that's underneath. Right, knocks it down, and so I did lose to birdie. So I felt better. Right, it wasn't like he went in there. So that was the nice thing with the strategy. He was still on it and still focused. And we came away with a birdie and said, "Oh, sweet, I got him. I'll make a bogey." He didn't really play too much, and then he made me have to make my 6-footer on the last hole for birdie. So we had 5 birdies each and shot 65. And if I hadn't made a mistake early in the day by, everybody says take your time for a reason. I didn't take my time and missed a 18-incher.
Oh, yeah.
And for birdie on the par 5 after having 15 feet for
should have been a
eagle.
64, but
that's all right. Well, if Joey would have made that 20-footer on 8, it would have been a 64.
There it goes.
So Eric, you played with Dan. It was
I
a
did.
different approach. You and I played a couple years ago there, and
Very
you played with Dan
different
last
approach.
year. But
Very different approach.
How did it go for you?
It was interesting to say the least. It's being a lover of golf. It's hard to play a team game of golf knowing that your score is going to count. And so I think I took the approach of trying to find ways to get his mind out of a poor shot, and really trying to get him to just play his own brand of golf. I think we went 72, 71, 74, and he can get off the tee. We got off the tee. We didn't really lose golf balls. We didn't make a lot of putts, and you can't be tentative in team games. So I found myself a lot of times having a 12-footer for birdie, but making sure that I was going to make a 4 rather than rolling the rock and trying to make a birdie. And so kind of the same that you and I had a couple of years ago. I know you were either out of the hole or I was either out of the hole, and that puts a lot of pressure on your partner. So it's trying to find ways to get them not thinking about the last hole as you and Joey did.
I wonder how Dan would have done if you played it as, hey, we're just going to go head to head against each other, and maybe if you gave him strokes just in general or something.
And we did that. We took the same approach on Sunday, which actually turned out to be our worst round. But we took the approach of, let's just play it like we're playing 18 out at the net. If you have honor, you have honor. I won't read your putts. You won't read my putts. If you're out, you hit your ball first. I'll putt second. So we played it as just a normal round of golf. But I still think you just have that team atmosphere. So in the back of your head, you're still focused on the team score.
I think the times that you and I have played,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be better if we played that same competitive
same style,
way that Joey and I did.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it earlier today, not too long ago when we played at the net. I think I went out early, like 3 under, and we both you ended up birdieing like 15, 16, 17, 18 or something. Maybe it was last 4.
Last 4 holes.
And we both walked off a 32.
Yep.
Like Eric's really good. Like when Zakai gets going, whenever we play, if there's a run, like
I got to keep
Eric's good at keeping up with somebody. If you guys notice that, if there's somebody that starts going low, he's pretty good at like, okay, that's the number that's being set out there.
I got to catch him.
But then again, you also go the other way.
Yeah.
That's why you guys shot 74 because
You see
like,
it.
Oh man, you kind of goes with it,
You
know.
see
But
it.
if a horse race gets out there, so
Yep.
I actually started off like I was going to ask you a question about it, Doug, then I drifted over to these guys. So you've heard our approaches. What would your recommendation to be to people that are going to get out there and either play a 4-ball or play a 2-person best ball, their own thing against some other folks? Or what do you think the approach that the golfer should, the average golfer should take?
I think for each one of us, it's a little different. And one of the things that all three of you said in common, and this is very, very common when people play that team game, because typically we don't, is you kind of fall back into this almost a safety net. And it's, I didn't hit a very good drive. I hit that shot in the water. That's okay. Greg's going to make par in this hole and we'll be okay. Or if you're out playing golf by yourself, you're getting frustrated and you're getting more focused and you're getting more determined and you're thinking about why you're hitting those bad shots, where oftentimes in that team game, it's, okay, I'm out of this hole and I'll jump into the next hole. And so you don't get that pinpoint focus. And so it's not uncommon in any kind of a team game. You see guys that even do it in a scramble all the time. I'm going to swing out of my shoes. Doesn't matter if we find this golf ball or not. If I hit it good and it goes forever down the fairway, we got a shorter iron in. And so you're not really working on your game. And so that happens. But I think really what you'll find, and you guys are learning this as you play together more, you'll start to find out what motivates the person you're playing with. And I love your strategy about playing head to head, because now you're focused on every shot, on every swing, and my score counts. Even if I make 6 and you make 6, my 6 still counts because it's against you in our game. And so you'll find different ways that people can get motivated. Me, for instance, and you guys have all played a lot of golf with me, my swing is completely and totally based on timing. I can't hit it as far as you guys do. Every time I try, it just goes further to the right. And so if you put me in the situation where I have to make birdies and the pressure gets on me that way, that's where I will actually start to struggle. But if it's like, hey, Doug, I just hit it over the fence, it's no big deal, let's just do the best we can, I might make a birdie. But it's, when you start nailing me down to stuff, an individual score, or, you look at Phil Mickelson, there's one of the best guys in the world. You need 3 birdies to finish this. I don't remember the tournament it was, but he was 150 some yards away. Bones went up and pulled the flag out of the cup.
Off the green.
So he could chip it in. Okay, that's not me. That's not how I play golf, but it works great for Phil, and it's somewhat of a motivator for you 3. And so that's part of what you guys are discovering is what motivates Joey, what can I do, what can't I do that will help him, that will hurt him, that will work in this team atmosphere.
Yeah, Joey's a pressure golfer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'd have to think about it, because I'm not you guys have all played with me. I don't know. How would I throw it? What's the best for me?
I think you do really, really good when you're behind and you've got to catch up. And I think this comes back to some of your cycling, or when maybe you're ahead, but I'm coming. And there's a reason for you to stay out in front. Okay. Eric loves to be up front with those leaders, and he does a fantastic job doing it. You're a great guy when you're out front, or if somebody's starting to chase you, you're good at staying ahead. And it's, we all play golf a little differently, and that's just something I guess I've noticed in your game.
So I got a question for Doug. So what would be your thought process? You just mentioned that if you have to go out and make birdies, that's not the way that you want to think or the way that you want to play golf. So what if you find yourself in a situation where you have to go out and make birdies? What's kind of your thought process to allow yourself to go out and do that?
Oh, that's when I step back and take 2 or 3 extra deep breaths and I'll focus on my own timing and my own game. And I really have to go back to one shot at a time, to where, you know what, it doesn't matter how far this goes. I'll even take 20 yards less than average, but I need to put it in the fairway, because I don't hit it far enough where I can predictably get it onto the green with a 6 iron and have a birdie putt. So I got to work on that first shot first. And then once we execute that one, then I start thinking about, what do I want to have left? What's the ball been doing all day? How is it reacting out of the fairway? What is it doing? Where does this green slope? What's the wind doing? Those factors. And then try to play the very best shot I can, weighing all that together, and hopefully it works out and I got 10 feet.
or 6 feet or 2, whatever works.
Whatever, or I'll chip it in.
So, all right. Stick around for this bonus cut caught mid-sentence as Eric discusses Phil Mickelson's long sleeve, kicking off a little bit of fashion talk. Remember, the home of The Fore Show is at theforeshow.com. You can download our podcast now on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and our host Buzzsprout, as well as visit our YouTube page, The Fore Show.
I went to a board meeting today and had to put a tie on, and you would have had that shirt on.
Yeah, it was.
Do they make it in Joey's size?
They don't make anything in Joey's size. Greg, what did you think about that?
Oh.
You just wanted to throw up a little bit?
So, I'm like, first
I
of
wouldn't
all,
button
like,
it, though. I wouldn't button it.
I can't remember. I can't remember who was.
So do for having it
Back to the groupies.
I had it on the computer. You saw it. I had it on the computer.
I've been watching it kind of
and
as
I was
we've been doing
tinkering some other stuff. I got to move that over here.
Yeah,
but
I know, right?
I was tinkering.
all
I
distracted.
was tinkering with some other stuff, and I can't remember whether it was Roger Maltby or, it might have been Faldo even or whatever. They were just saying you got one guy who looks like he came to the golf course to play a tournament, and you got the other guy that looked like he just got off work and wants to play a few extra holes.
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's it. Like, he's like,
exactly
mind
what
if
it
I
was.
play a few with you?
Oh man.
Looked like he didn't have
Sure.
time to go home and change. Just threw his cleats on.
Yep.
Yeah,
Button up.
exactly.
Well, he did.
I
He
could
did
do
shoot
this.
79 today, so I bet he goes short sleeve tomorrow.
Yeah.
You might wear shorts
I don't
tomorrow.
really- yeah. I'm sure he can do that. He's like, I'm good. Yeah, that's an interesting one to me. Yeah, I don't even know if it's
What's a
weather
better
wicking or whatever.
What's a better look? Phil in the long sleeve button up or Ricky with the Hawaiian untucked shirt?
Oh, the Hawaiian untucked shirt. Because you guys know me, I don't tuck my shirt, and I can't.
Doesn't stay.
I can't
in.
play that way. That's also true. That's also true.
They just
Or how about, what if we go back a little bit with Ricky and it's more the pajama pants and the high tops versus Phil and the long sleeve?
Oh, the joggers?
The joggers? Is that what they were called?
I didn't mind the joggers. It was the high tops I didn't like. I could handle the joggers, but not the high tops.
But see, you're talking to a guy. Simple motto on the golf course:
look good,
look good, play good.
look good, feel good, play good.
Well,
And
I have to admit, I'm old enough to be Ricky's dad.
I
and
never
so
owned a pair of joggers.
I'm not that market, but
I wouldn't wear the joggers on the golf course. I'm just saying that wasn't the part that bothered me. It was the high tops that bothered me. Like all those basketball type shoes that are coming out. It's like I can't get on board with that.
I remember seeing somebody playing tennis shoes, and it looked like, what's this guy doing in tennis shoes?
Yeah.
Right. And
Well, those spikeless. That's
now
what
I'm
they look like.
literally-
Right?
now
No,
I'm
you're doing
playing
it.
in tennis shoes,
No,
and
Eric,
my
yeah,
Vans
yeah.
shoes,
I love Eric's
right?
shoes,
your
And,
moonwalk shoes. From,
Yeah,
yeah.
moonwalk
Well, it
shoes.
used to be khaki pants
But-
that you would wear to a wedding, and now it's the material that
Yeah.
The wicking,
the
silk
wicking.
within,
Yeah.
Yeah. So these kids got, Ricky's got all these followers, and they're dressed in orange and the high tops. But it is that setting up the next generation that says, okay, these kids that came up watching wear the high tops, that they're like, it's okay to wear a tank top to the golf course? I mean, do we move along to now where it's just kind of the fashion on golf courses today is so different than it was before. Now, again, there's a lot of it that's better with the materials and wicking material and stuff like that, but just in general, it's like maybe it's like an airplane. You're a pilot too, or if you remember the days and people used to get dressed up
wore
to
a
fly on
tie
the
to get on an airplane.
right? And you get on the airplane now, and you're just like, wow,
You got Boo Weekly sitting next to
are
you.
these did you climb into your pajamas or something here?
I'll wear sweats.
So-
I want to be comfortable on a plane. So.
Well, I know, and I'm not knocking.
But
Look,
now
it
it's
brings
just
people to the
changed.
golf
But the
course, and
change.
it's not about being
Right,
a
right.
stuffy environment, right? I mean, it's if it brings people out and gets them going, and it's but it was professional. You got the PGA talking about they can wear shorts, and and maybe it's going the right direction. I'm not right or wrong. I'm just asking guys. Do we feel like? I mean, it's obviously relaxed. We're playing music on the golf course. I think it's great.
I
Yeah,
like
I
music
love
on the
it.
golf course.
Right?
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I know Joey's been pining away to try to let him to wear his wife beater out on the golf course, and so
No.
he's,
I feel weird just wearing a
Nobody
t-shirt.
wants to see
I feel
that.
weird. Honestly, I
Yeah.
feel weird wearing a t-shirt on the golf course. If I'm going out to practice, it's one thing. But if I'm playing, I feel super weird in a t-shirt. Like I saw Eric on the first Monday night that we played. He had a t-shirt.
Monday nights,
And I kind of, it just, I mean, it doesn't bother me, but I was like, it was weird to see you that way because usually he's dressed to the tee, looking sharp, every time.
yeah.
And it was just weird to kind of see that on the golf course. Like when you're on the practice, on the practice range, whatever, that's one thing. But I think I like some of the fashion where it's going. I like the change, but there's some stuff it just takes some time, I think, to get used to. Like maybe in a few years we might like the high tops. I don't like the high top, but it took me a while to get used to the flat bill hat.
Yeah.
And now I wear flat-ish bill hat. Like I'm like right in the middle. Like it's not that super curve you had back in the day where you couldn't even see outside of your, outside of it. It was just like a little tunnel view, but.
Yeah.
But then the flat bill, it took me a little while to get used to. When I saw that, like the first one on tour, I was like, "What is this? Like, this guy needs to go back to the baseball field."
I think Hunter Mahan hadn't been playing so well because flat bills aren't so popular.
That's right.
That's exactly.
Well,
is he still on tour? I haven't seen him forever. Man.
And speaking of hats, can we start a collection so we can get Eric a new hat? Because he's got to get away from what he's wearing tonight. This is
Go Twins.
Yeah.
Won't work for anybody.
He's from Minnesota.
I'll be in Kansas in 2 weeks.
Get a hat.
Yeah, get a hat. Get a hat.
Not a Royals hat, though, please. Thanks.
All right, so that's brutal. All right.
You're in Colorado now. Did you get a Rockies hat?
I've got a Rockies hat. I wear it when I wear my purple
What
shirt.
about a Broncos hat, too?
I'll never buy a Broncos hat.
You're in Colorado now. Come on.
For Eric, Joey, and Doug, I'm Greg Pattison saying, you just listen to the Fore.